Believe it or not, talking to dead people made me a better mom. Hi boo, it's me, your medium bestie, the Death Fairy, certified death doula, and your spirit guide to the other side. Ding! I know, it sounds like something out of a ghost story. But spirit connection, especially as somebody who's worked in energy, grief, and mediumship, has really shaped how I am as a mother, how I teach, and how I love. Before I became a full-time medium, I was a preschool teacher. Many years ago, I lived in Japan and I taught English to preschool students for 10 years. I've always loved children. Their energy, their fairy-like joy, the way they are so honest, and the way they naturally can connect to their intuition, to their own spirit. They express their spirit. But motherhood brought on its own initiation. I remember when I was first pregnant with a baby I deeply, deeply wanted. Living in Japan, at the time, my Japanese wasn't that good. So I had this really extreme stomach pain. I went to the emergency room. They told me, "You're pregnant." That's all I heard. What I didn't process was that you're pregnant, but you can't keep the baby because it's an ectopic pregnancy. And that's when the baby is formed outside of the womb. It's in the fallopian tube. So I had to go in for emergency surgery that day. Processing all of this, all I heard was, "You're pregnant." So I was so happy because I really, really wanted my own child. After teaching and loving my preschool kids, it's like they're so cute. I want my own baby. And then this happens. It sounds like the best thing ever. So there I am, having my emergency surgery. Right before I go down, I hear the doctor say, "Ooh, it's a foreign girl." And I was like, "What?" Blank out. And I wake up in the maternity ward. Yes, they put me with all the mothers who have children to recover. And in Japan, it's a little more strict. So in America, we'll keep you for a few days. In Japan, they keep you for a few weeks. So I was there with mothers grieving my own child. It was so quick. I had a baby and then I didn't have a baby. And it was so traumatic having to hear babies all day long, right? That were not mine. Now I can talk about it lightly because I've told this story so many times. And this was a long, long time ago. That being said, in this loss, something spiritual really woke within me. I began to feel her energy, my baby's energy. I knew it was a girl and I knew her name was Alice. At the time, Alice in Wonderland, the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland was just released. And I had gone to watch the movie, I think the day before I had this emergency surgery or around that time. So I named her Alice because not only is it my favorite story as a child, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, it was the moment, the big pivotal moment that I just remember. I just watched Alice in Wonderland. Suddenly I'm pregnant. I can't keep the baby. That evening, grieving my baby, feeling so heartbroken, I started to write a poem, All in the Golden Afternoon, which is one of the poems in Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And as I'm writing this, I start seeing golden sparkles all around me. And it's physical sparkles like this. And it's not faint, it's very, very bright. And I've never had that phenomenon happen to me ever after that. And I've had anesthesia many times after that. So it's not the anesthesia talking, it's literally physical manifestation of spirit. And so that's another thing. People don't realize that spirit manifests as lights, as orbs. Remember when you had the old school camera in the 90s and you would take pictures and all these orbs would appear? Spirit manifesting in physical form, lights and orbs. So I saw all these beautiful sparkles and I knew she was with me. And ever since that moment, I would celebrate her unbirthday, another Alice in Wonderland reference. And it really made me understand that I wasn't alone, that she was not gone. And sometimes spirit, it just wants a taste of what it's like to be in human form, even if it's just in the anatomy, in the cells, right? The little itty bitty, just like a feeling, like, what would it be like to be a human? Okay, cool. I'll come do this again another time. Bye. It's okay. And from that moment, I have never seen motherhood or mediumship or spirit connection the same way ever. Such a beautiful sign of spirit. Since then, every part of my parenting has been touched by spirit. I've gone on to have 3 healthy, wonderful boys, and I am so grateful for all the lessons they're teaching me, as well as how we can communicate with spirit together in light ways. I don't sit there and tell them, I talk to dead people. They know what I do, but I don't drill it in them. It's not like we talk about death and stuff all the time. It's just something that they know I do. If they have questions, they come to me. If not, we just go on with our day. I mean, there's been the time when the pet passes away. Like, I remember our pet frogs passed away. And they're like, Mom, can you please talk to the frogs? Please let them know that I'm sad. I'm like, dude, you don't need me to talk to frogs. You talk to the frogs. They're fine. They're happy and honored for the time they had with us. Energy work taught me this first. When my kids are melting down, I pause and I ask myself, is this my energy that I'm picking up on or theirs? It's so easy as a parent to get triggered, especially when kids are like growing up in the beginning stages, right? That toddler stage. They have so many meltdowns. I can hear my newborn having a meltdown right now. And when they do, it's easy for us as parents to get triggered. We're like, ooh, I know my energy just clenches like this, like, oh my God. And because I've done a lot of energy work and because I communicate with spirit so much, I can separate myself. I can separate my energy and be like, whoa, I'm triggered right now. Is this my own thing triggering me? Or is this an outside energy? And usually when you stop and think, it's always an outside energy. It's my baby having a moment, cool. So let them have their moment, don't let this affect me, and move on. I don't react, I hold space. Literally, when you hear the spiritual community, I'm holding space. That's what holding space, holding the container. Mediumship taught me empathy. And I am somebody who's very empathetic, but it really taught me what empathy means. Honoring each child as a soul, not a role. You hear lots of parents be like, I made you, I can take you out of this world. Or that's such a 90s thing, right? I mean, my parents were Mexican, so I got all the discipline, the loving discipline. I understand why they did it. But when we have our own children, it's really common to think of them as our own, right? Just like I said. But what if they are their own spirit and we are having the privilege to help them, to guide them, right? Not saying not to discipline children because you have to teach them what's right and wrong, but just when you understand that they're not your property, it helps. It's like, okay, you're your own person. You're going to have a freak out. Fine. Have your freak out. I'm going to be over there. When you're done, come back to me and then we'll try to settle this. It's usually how I deal with my kids. You want to cry your heart out. It's great. I'll cry with you in the other room. I need my own space to cry. I put myself in timeout. Be like, yeah, I see you're going through a moment. Mommy's in timeout. Bye. Also, I have such a deep compassion for mothers who have lost babies because I know what that's like. Even if it's just for an instant. I've had my student who I've lost, who was also a child, and I've had other children in my lives who have been lost. And each one, unique in its own way, is not any worse or better than another. I feel like a physical loss is always going to be a beautiful scar that you wear. Every time you see it, it's going to remind you of them. It's not going to get better, but you'll be able to understand where that scar came from, and you'll be able to not appreciate it, but just be like, okay, it happened. I grew from this. I love this. I learned from this. Something like that. A way to honor them physically. I always love to see death as a scar. And I have so many beautiful scars. And my kids talk to spirit too. My eldest, who's now a teenager, I remember when he was like 2 years old, and he would say, Mommy, I miss my sister. At the time, he was my only child. And I'm like, what sister? Alice. He connected to her. He would see her in dreams and at night. She was a spirit guide to him. I didn't drill him about it. I'm like, what does she say? What does she do? It's a kid. Let him have the connection. Talk to him about how he felt, what he saw, and then move on. But isn't that cool? They have such beautiful connection to energy, just naturally, to spirits. You don't have to teach them, they know. If anything, they teach us. He's always been my sensitive one though. He used to have dreams about death. He used to have this fear of getting older, and he used to have these dreams that were kind of like his past life memories coming through, right? So the fear of getting old was a huge piece, and I thought that was so fascinating. He just knew. And my middle child, he was my baby for the longest time. Same. He is such a sensitive person. He knows the energy in the room. We'll go somewhere and be like, yeah, no, don't like this. And he doesn't have to be woo-woo about it. I don't teach them to be woo-woo. I just teach them to be honest, right? When I used to have all my tarot stuff and things in this room, he'd be like, yeah, Mom, I don't really like that energy. Can you take it out? And be like, sure, I understand, we're all different, but he understands his own space. Learn from your children. They can teach you a lot about energy, about spirit, because connecting to spirit's not scary, it's sacred. The world is messy, but my children are here to help me ground. I can help them connect naturally to spirit, to energy, to normalize death, and to help learn more empathy together with spirit's help. If this has touched you and you're ready to learn spirit work through a parenting lens, through an energetic lens, through an emotional and sensitive lens, I am here to help you and to guide you. You want to unpack all your intuitive gifts? Let me help. I offer one-to-one sessions where we can work on clearing energy, healing any mother block or past life block that you might have, or just learning how to connect even deeper to your loved ones. Link is in the caption down below. And I created a safe and free space for all of us to come together and connect to spirit. I would love for you to come and join. You can find the link to my membership down below as well. Absolutely free. Come in, say hi, let me know what you think. And as always, please comment with your experiences and follow me if you'd love to learn even more and go deeper about what it means to really connect to your loved ones. Spirit connection is connecting to love. Spirit is calling. Will you answer the call?